Quasi here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about why bad things and unexpected things happen and really how to prevent them from happening in the first place. Before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for completely free at the end of the week, just comment Life Mastery down below, and every single Friday we'll be picking one lucky winner to get this book for completely free in the ebook format. I'm also excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program is open, so wait till the end of the video for the announcement on that. With that, let's get started with this video. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about why bad things happen and, in general, how to prevent them from happening in the first place. Now, sometimes whenever you least expect it, bad things happen. But also when you're expecting it. Now, most of the time, it's kind of like you're not expecting it to happen, but you're thinking about it. And when you're mentalizing about it and worrying about it, that's when it happens. And, when this is usually when the failure scenario isn't considered. So to really give you an example, when you put all of your eggs into one basket, and one of my clients that I was working with, he was really successful in his online business and he was making a lot of money. And as he started making money, he started putting them into Facebook ads so he could get a return on these ads and get more and more money. And he said, oh no, this has to work. This has to work. He just put all his eggs into one basket. I think he invested maybe $100,000, $200,000 into his Facebook ads, and eventually just went to shit. Everything just started going to shit, and he didn't consider the failure scenario, and therefore, it just didn't work out the way he wanted to, and he just ended up losing a lot of money and just ending up at square one. So, when you put all of your eggs into one basket and you don't prepare for the failure scenario, sometimes bad things do happen. And this is because that worry is always in your mind. Now, why this really happens is because when you put too much importance on one course of action, you're bound to be in trouble. Now, we know this concept of importance from a lot of videos that I've shared on this channel before. If you haven't seen them, click up here and really know the importance of coordination and how to deal with importance in the first place. Now, what importance is when you place a disproportionate amount of meaning onto something in your life. So let's say you're focusing too much on manifesting a dream partner. You're placing that person on a pedestal. External importance is when you place someone or something that's outside of you on a pedestal. Internal importance is when you place your own value or your own shortcoming too important. Even when you're being cocky or when you're being too much of a victim, that's still building excess potential. Now, excess potential is built by this importance level. So when you raise importance on something, nature counters it by putting up excess potential. If we want to think about excess potential, it's kind of like gravitational potential. When you put a pen up here, it gains gravitational potential. When you put your importance by raising your thought energy up here, nature brings up excess potential. Nature is a perfect system. It'll never be at an imbalance. When you generate something, some thought energy, it raises potentials. That's how it works. So with that understanding, by the way, if you wanted to know more about what excess potentials are, click up here. I've made videos on that as well. But essentially, why this is important to understand right now is when you put your eggs into one basket, you're placing too much importance on this course of action, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. And when you place too much importance on one course of action, if that fails, it depletes your state of being. So now there is identification to this. Importance essentially is identification. You say, okay, I am this. In an energetic level, you're saying, okay, I am this. If this doesn't work, I'm going to feel less of myself. If something that you've been wanting doesn't turn out the way you want it, then you feel less and less of yourself. Imagine how a person feels when they lose their identity. I don't know if you watched that movie called Born. I think I briefly remember watching it, Born Identity. He loses his identity. He's like, oh shit, where am I? Who am I? That's the state we want to get to with spirituality, by the way. You want to become emptier and emptier. But, with that said, you want to get to a point where you are consciously able to control what you identify with. So the choice is yours. Do you see what I mean? When the choice is up to you, then you can identify with things that'll give you a good return. Now, when you can't do it consciously, then you put external situations like a safety net or a plan B and not put your eggs into one basket. So with that said, when my client put all of his eggs into one basket, onto just doing the Facebook ads for this one thing that he has and pumping it up, even though he wasn't sure it would go the way or not, he didn't prepare for the failure scenario. That's exactly what happened. The failure scenario happened. So life just tests you in these ways when you're not prepared for the worst. So remember to always prepare for the worst. I'm going to share with you 2 ways you can actually get to a point where bad things aren't happening to you because you're always prepared. Now, to give you an example, my personal life, I was always like, oh, don't worry, everything will be fine. This is the law of attraction. This is manifestation. I'll just visualize it and everything will go the way that I want. And guess what? It didn't. And what do I do then, right? So recently what happened was I had a thing with one of my payment processes. So when a client joins a program, they pay money and then it goes to a payment processor because of the things that I use to collect their card information. Now, when that happens, they take a certain fee out of it, blah, 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 and then they send the money to me after they process it. So I had a little trouble with my payment processor, and I'd already collected a lot of money from many different clients, and our payout was due. But what happened was they put my account on hold, and that put importance in me. Excess potential raised, I get worried. Like, oh no, oh shit, what if this goes bad? Oh no. And what if this doesn't work? What if the money doesn't come? Oh no, what if it takes too long? 1 week passed, 2 weeks passed. I just kept contacting them. Hey, what's going on? Come on, fix this. They're like, yeah, well, your site isn't compliant. We need this information, that information. I'm like, well, I can't provide you this. They're like, oh, we need your resume. Could you send your resume? I'm like, oh, it doesn't make sense. I'm teaching life coaching. You can't get a qualification. You can't go to college for life coaching. Maybe you can now, but I don't know. I got a degree in engineering. Why is this even relevant? Like, oh, we just need this, need that. And this just got me worried more and more. So, I saw that as I was getting more worried and I realized these concepts, like, oh, this is what's happening. I'm just placing too much importance on this. So why not practice what I preach and reduce importance? The only way I could do that is by having a plan B. So I really thought about what the worst case scenario would be. Worst case scenario, I have to refund all my clients, charge them again using another different payment provider. And guess what? Because this didn't get approved, that's exactly what I had to end up doing. And it was just completely stress-free and it just went very smoothly. All the clients were able to make the payments again using a different process, and they were very understanding. And I said, hey, look, I'm sorry about this. I apologize. It took a little longer than expected, but everything ended up fine at the end. So just to show you how that goes, even if life doesn't go your way, you still reduce that excess potential. Because if I didn't, I would probably be struggling a lot more. And this would have affected even other areas of my life, just being worried. So you've got to find a way to reduce your own importance levels. And this is by creating plan Bs and seeing, fear setting, seeing what the worst case scenario would be and what you would do if that happened. And that's what I started to do. When I started to do that, everything changed for me. Now, some of the times you actually want to put your eggs in one basket, but you want to be doing this, consciously. Even if you do put your eggs in one basket, you still want to be prepared for failure. So, for example, I don't have multiple streams of revenue. I just have one program that I focus on and I get my clients results with that, the Reality Mastery Program. That's it. I don't have multiple streams of revenue. I'm not worried, if this program doesn't go well, then what? It has to go well. But I'm not raising importance on that because I can consciously control it. If it doesn't, then I'll find out other ways. I know I'll be okay. Somehow I'll be okay. That's the point you want to get to. Now, you want to consciously create this pressure on yourself to perform. That's when you want to put your eggs in one basket. Some of the times you'll see that you just too lazy and you're slacking off. Those times you want to create that positive stress on yourself. It's called eustress. It's spelled EU, stress. And eulogy means good word. You means good. You want to create this good stress on yourself, the positive pressure to perform. And you got to know your own personal balance and when you got to do that. But most of the time when people create too much pressure on themselves, too much stress on themselves, it's not eustress, it's de-stress. So they're not able to really get to a point where they're proactive, rather than becoming reactive to the stress. They're like, oh shit, what do I do? So you want to get to a point where you're creating either eustress if you want to place all your eggs in one basket, or you want to find a way to consciously create plan Bs to alleviate this stress. So this importance level, this excess potential is reduced. Whenever there is excess potential, whenever you're fearing something, it usually happens. Because your energy, your thought energy is up there, and nature, by the principle of polarity, it attracts that. Your thought energy radiates the opposite. When you say, what if this happens? You keep focusing on it. Reality doesn't discern between I want and I don't want. It just sees, intensity of emotion and object of desire or whatever it is you don't desire, and then attracts it. Just to balance out that excess potential. So with that said, I'm going to share with you the key to getting to a point where you're reducing your worry. Step 1 is to find a plan B. Okay, so you want to find a plan B with every single course of action you take. So for me, when I started off this coaching business, I thought, well, if this doesn't go well, what's my plan B? Okay, plan B is I'll go to a 9 to 5. I'll just find a job. That's cool. Number 2, always consider the failure scenario. What happens if this fails? Okay, I keep trying. I get a 9 to 5 or I get a part-time job and I keep trying at this. I'm going to try different strategies and try to take it to the next level. Doing that until I'm financially viable. Find a method that works. So that's how I create my own personal, reduce my personal importance that way. And I want you to try this out, see how this goes in your life. And you'll see that every single thing that you do, when I had big exams, I'd just be like, what's the worst case scenario if I fail? Nothing. My parents would scold me. Great. I hope they don't disown me, but obviously that's just me really pushing the limits. What would happen if they disown me? Then you would think about that, right? So with that, just to really recap the gist of this video, sometimes whenever it's least expected, things happen, but most of the time when it's you not worrying about it and you're not being conscious of it, that's when it happens. Whenever you're not considering the failure scenario, then failure occurs. Now, when you put your eggs into one basket, that's when the problem arises. When you put all of your eggs into one basket, and this is not to create you stress, but rather for de-stress, then you create this importance level. This importance is generated. When the importance is generated, then nature wants to come in to balance out this importance because it creates an inhomogeneity in its field and it generates this excess potential, gives you exactly what you don't want. To give you an example, one of my clients, when we started off, before he came into this program, he wanted to regain that level of success, and he pumped all of his money into Facebook ads and he just lost it all. He lost all of his money because he put all of his eggs into one basket trying to get this to work. We got him to a point where he's very detached, but he's still fully involved. That's what we want to get to. Now, whatever he does now, he knows completely that, this could just go to shit. So you don't put your eggs into one basket. You know when to do this. And after this, he's starting to get results now. He's slowly going back up to that level of success. But now it's being done in a conscious manner. Because if you unconsciously get successful, you're always going to be suffering your success. Always remember that. And for me, the thing was, just don't worry, Quasi, everything will be fine. But the only way not to worry, to get rid of that worry in the first place, is to have a plan B in place. Because then you can say to yourself, there's nothing to worry about. I'm doing everything that I can. If this doesn't work, then that will. And you'll see whenever you do that, there is no longer any excess potential, no resistance is created, and you can just walk, just calmly take whatever it is that you want. Key, have a plan B, and also consider the failure scenario. And with that, I conclude this video. I sincerely hope this helped. I hope you'll try this out and let me know in the comments below what you thought of this and how it's applicable to your life. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And I'm super excited to announce I'm growing a massive Facebook group where we have a great community of great members. So make sure you take advantage of this. Click on the link below to join, and I hope I see you there. Also, I'm super duper excited to announce that the Reality Mastery Program is evolving into its 2.0 version. It's like you've never seen it before. So I want you to sign up for the free one-to-one consult to see if it would be a good fit to work together and to really see how we can take your life to the next level by the principles of the becoming paradigm and identity shifting. And I saw that in my personal life, it didn't matter what I did. It mattered who I became. No one tells you how to be. People tell you what to do. Society tells you what to want and what to have. But no one ever tells you how to be. That's what this program tells you to do. It shows you how to be so that you can do in the have. So make sure you take advantage of this opportunity while it's still up and click on the link below to sign up for your free one-to-one consult. Hope I see you there. Till next time. Peace!